Good afternoon to one and all present here. I, Aisha Menon, an aviation enthusiast pursuing first BP Aviation Management in SSMRV College. I heartily welcome each one of you present here and thank you for gracing this occasion. Aviation is a poetry, is the finest kind of moving around the flying high, just as poetry is the finest way of using words said by Jersey Redmond. We have gathered here for day 2 webinar on aviation, tourism and hospitality, the road ahead for graduates in collision with inauguration of Athityam Club. Well, boarding on this special occasion, I request Madam Vandana Revankar, Assistant Professor, the Event Coordinator and Department of Business Administration to address welcome speech to believers on the power of dreams towards aviation, tourism, hospitality industry. Over to you, ma'am.
Thanks, Aisha. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Opportunities don't happen, you create them. With this quote, I, Vandana Revankar, Assistant Professor from Department of Business Administration, introduce you to the day 2 of one-of-a-kind initiative, Athityam, a club for aviation, tourism and hospitality. On behalf of SSMRV College and Department of Business Administration, I take this opportunity to welcome our esteemed speaker for the day, Mrs. Pooja Somarna. We welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you, Vandana. Thank you so much.
Our dear Principal, Dr. S. Anil Kumar, sir. Hearty welcome to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And I welcome IQAC Coordinator, Dr. M.S. Nagraj, sir, on this occasion. Professor Jagdish, Head of the Department of Business Administration, and HODs of all the departments. My dear students, faculty members from SSMRV and from across the country, a warm welcome to all of you. As being addressed on day 1 of webinar, the main intention of this club was to create awareness about the tourism, hospitality and aviation industry. So this club is a small initiative from SSMRV College to bring in that change and to make the students industry ready. So we are going to come out with the novel programs for making students industry ready who would be from various streams, be it BBA General, BCom, BCA or post-graduations. So I once again wholeheartedly welcome you and everyone here for the inaugural and on the second day of the Aviation, Tourism and Hospitality Club on the topic Aviation, Tourism and Hospitality Road Ahead for Graduates. Thank you one and all. Over to you, Aisha.
Yes. As the art of teaching is the art of discovery, this elicits Dr. Anupama, Assistant Professor, Department of Business Administration, to assist us on the administration discovery experience of Honorable Chief Guest, Ms. Pooja Somarna, ma'am. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Aisha. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay. Pooja Somarna, Brand Strategist, Humblebee, wife of Somarna Mandapanda, founder Humblebee. Coffee industry's challenges are too great and too complex for any one organization or government to address on its own. But solutions to these challenges do exist and will be found through new partnerships bringing together the public, private, philanthropic sectors. Humblebee Coffee brings forth a collective experience of over 65 years in the business of coffee production, quality analysis and trading with domestic and international buyers. Humblebee is a dream venture of Somarna and Pooja Somarna. Going back to the roots and build the roots strong is the dream of this couple. Brand architect, ex-Yahoo, ex-banker and customer experience designer, Pooja envisions Humblebee transforming the modern-day coffee consumer experience and the industry at large by promoting sustainable practices from farm to cup. She's a true inspiration to all the young minds here. I wholeheartedly welcome Pooja to this platform and request her to inspire, motivate our young minds who have lots of questions in their minds about the future opportunities. I wholeheartedly welcome Pooja here on this platform on behalf of SSMRB and on behalf of Athityam Club. Welcome you, Pooja, and the stage is yours. And thank you so much for this opportunity, for having given me this to talk about Pooja here. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Anupama ma'am. I would request our beloved principal, Dr. S. Anil Kumar sir, to say a few words on this occasion. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon. I'm very happy to come back on the second day of the Tourism, Aviation and Hospitality virtual workshop organized by the Department of Aviation, BBA Aviation. And it has been a pleasure to have Pooja Somanna to be the resource person for this particular program. Welcome to you once again. And I would like you to be part of our BBA Aviation program even in future. And definitely our students will be highly benefited with your experience and exposure in the field of hospitality. And of course, you're specialized in the coffee industry, but it will definitely inspire our young minds to become an entrepreneur like you. Okay, thank you. Thank you for accepting our invitation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Pooja ma'am, you can take it over from here. Stage is all yours, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Vandana, and thank you for the entire team for having me here with you all today. So good afternoon to all of you here. Hope you all are doing well and your families too. And I'm Pooja Somanna, the co-founder of Humble Bean Coffee Company. I'm here with you all to give you all insights about the opportunities that are there in the hospitality industry. So before I begin and speak to you all about the opportunities in itself, I thought it's important I give you all a background to the current trends that exist in the industry, and also give you insights insights of the consumer behaviors that has seen a huge change. We have seen a huge change in the consumer behavior over the decade, and I think both these aspects would be extremely important for you all to be aware of, so that you can make informed choices when it comes to your career in the future. So to begin with, India currently is seeing a big trajectory with regards to from mass companies like the McDonald's to KFC. It's shifting and moving towards discerning customers. When I say discerning customers who are extremely aware, conscious of the products they consume or the food they consume and how they're consuming this, it has become very important for the customers. And this has in turn led to many small and businesses thriving and making their way here. And to put this in perspective, if you look at Australia, which is way ahead of us in terms of consumer awareness and consciousness. In Australia, it put out large corporations out of business, and it made way to many small and young businesses to thrive. And India is currently seeing the same similar situation here, with the consumer trends changing, and the industry also had to evolve and got an opportunity to evolve and adapt. So this is in short about the what lies in the industry. If the consumer behavior. So today the consumers are not rigid in terms of the mindset, and that is also because of the easy access to internet, right? We have access to global trends, practices at a switch of a button. Thanks to many many platforms like Netflix, Amazon, YouTube, Instagram, all the social media platforms, We sitting at our homes are aware of the global practices, global standards when it comes to in terms of quality. And as an end consumer, they're exposed to all of this, which in turn has made them ready to accept change in terms of products, the way the food industry works, the quality standards, and also, of course, with the current situations like what we are facing today, the pandemic, hygiene and quality standards have become imperative, right? Every consumer is extremely conscious before he makes a choice. And this in turn has given the industry, the at large, the hospitality industry, an opportunity to completely reinvent, create new experiences, whether it comes to dining, whether it comes to fine dining or comfort food space. It could be travel, holidays, or creating various kinds of experiences. India today as an economy, we are seeing that we see an experiential economy in the sense where a consumer who earlier used to spend his income more on creating assets or having like gold or land. Today, a consumer also, as much as he's aware that saving up for a rainy day, they do want to spend on experiences, right? When it comes to dining or even an end product, the way it's been received at a consumer end, they're ready to pay for all these experiences. And this has given us immense opportunities for innovation. And for example, the way food gets served at your table, it's no more about just how food tastes good, right? It's about the cutlery, the way the food is being served, to the ambience that gets created around that space. Earlier, to give you an example, earlier, South Bangalore was just known to, you people went to South Bangalore when they wanted to have cuisines like dosa or a typical South Indian cuisine, right? Chaat. These were the things that people look to go to only South Bangalore. But today it's no more the scenario. Today, every cuisine is available at every area. So, and in that sense, even sitting in India, people are looking forward to global food practices or beverages. They want to see a change and understand and see what they can adapt to. And the same happened with the coffee industry. And I come from that side of the business. It is no more about just consuming a cup of filter coffee. Coffee is not about just, it doesn't end for an Indian consumer at a filter cup of coffee, right? So we want to experience how the new age brewing of coffee, and which has led to a new space for the industry to come up with new age cafes, where people like a certain ambience, the way the coffee is being served, the food that goes well. People like to work out of these spaces. People like to read, even for your social interactions. So restaurant space is not limited to only when somebody wants to go eat. It is much more beyond that right now. People want to go there to work, or it could be social gatherings. Many more. So this is what has led us to innovate and design spaces the way one particular place is designed, the entire experience for one at one space. And with all this innovation that has made way in the food and travel industry, it gives you all an immense opportunities. But before that, you all need to understand one own self, where your skill set lies. It's extremely important because this industry is vast. If you want to be relevant even in the hospitality industry, one can even look at farming, because farm to fork has a new trend where an end consumer wants to know where his food is coming from. So your opportunity begins from farming till being a consumer face, probably even facing a consumer at the end at a restaurant. So the opportunities are many, but you need to understand where your skill set lies. That means you need to keep yourself well informed about the current trends. It's very important you all explore about various experiences outside. Even if your pocket money restricts you to go and explore a lot, that shouldn't stop you from pursuing. You can choose to work as interns and learn. There are many new age companies like us who are looking forward to students, new energies, fresh energies, and creators who can add value to the chain, to the entire chain. It could be at the farm level. It could be at creating a product, creating an end product. It could be about designing, packaging around the food, how the food is stored. It could also be designing an ambience, right? How can you make an ambience? How can you make somebody feel good? For example, if you want to have Italian food, how is that food? How is that space created for one to feel that they are not that adds to that experience of that Italian cuisine in that space, right? So it's very important for you all to understand your own skill set, where your own strengths lies. Try and work as interns at different new companies and understand your own skill sets. Having said this, I also want to understand from you all as to what are the specific questions you have. This is extremely vast as a topic. I have very briefly given you all as to how the trends are and what an exciting time it is for the industry, because with the consumers with such enthusiasm and ready to try new experiences, I've just given you very brief insights into this. I would like to answer a few specific questions from you all, if you have any thus far, so that it will help me give you clarity. So any of you all?
Ma'am, I would like to add a few things here. Like most of the students would be interested to know, like, because they have not been a part of this industry, or maybe would be much eager to know about it. We would definitely want to know your journey, ma'am, as when you started freshly in this industry. So, what were the challenges you faced, and what would be the advice you would like to give these students in order to get industry ready?
Okay. Since I am from the coffee line of business and I began my journey in the coffee industry, prior to that, I haven't had any hospitality experience per se. So my journey began with understanding coffee. Did not really look at myself at one day serving an end consumer a cup of coffee, did not really see that. It began as simple as understanding coffee as a bean, its complexities, understanding how versatile coffee as a product was, because I did not know much about coffee apart from a good filter cup of coffee that we brew at home. Right. So, and once I started exploring and understanding how coffee as a beverage is perceived across the globe, it started getting me more curious and understanding this versatile bean. So I started brewing coffees at home, understanding the different ways, understanding the flavor science behind coffees. And while my team was also working at the farm level to bring in better practices at the farm level, that was a whole initiative taken by my husband at the farm level to bring in changes in the farm practices, to bring in more awareness. There was a huge lack of awareness at the farm level. Though the farmers are growing the coffees, there are many practices that they were unaware of how they can bring better produce. And hence India was not so well, Indian coffees, were not given the enough limelight, I think, because somewhere at the farmers level, they themselves were not aware what great coffees India has been producing. So we had to begin from the scratch, that is bringing awareness from the farm level, educating the farmers on the farm practices, getting better quality of produce. And it started with trying these coffees. The farmers whom we were working with, we started understanding and improvising on their coffees, brewing these coffees on different various equipments. And while I was having these coffees is when I realized, as an end consumer, I myself was not very happy with the coffee offerings that was around. somewhere I was not convinced with what already existed. And in my mind, I wanted many people to practice these new age brewing coffees, because it was so surprising for me to understand that the coffee can be consumed, in so many ways apart from a filter coffee or a cappuccino or latte that we were just exposed to and restricted to. So that is where that is when I felt the need to bring out a space where we can bring these new age brewings, manual brews that we specialize in. I wanted to bring it out and put it out there and get more people exposed to or try these coffees, and which led to me conceptualizing the brew bar concept, which was one of its kind in India. We are the only manual brew bar in India. So the curiosity led to innovation, and understanding the current trend standards, and I realized there was much more to do, and hence much more to do, and we came up with the brew bar. And once we began with the brew bar, it was extremely surprising to see how this was perceived. We understood that the consumers were more than willing to try new things, and also because there is a large part of people who travel and who are well aware of the global standards. Like I said, whether it is through television or through travel, people's standards and expectations have increased over the years as a consumer. So yes, so, and hence we have the brew bar today, and for the last 3 years we have constantly been innovating every experience from how a coffee is brewed. I'm sorry, let me go back from which farm these coffees are coming from, to get the farm practices better. From there, getting these coffees to the end consumer, how it's being brewed, and we wanted to do beyond it, how this cup of coffee gets served to an end consumer. For example, if you have to get into more details, what is the kind of cup a coffee is going to get served? How should you even be serving a cold coffee? How should you serve your mocktail? How do you serve your hot coffee? So we started completely evolving and innovating ourselves, and got into the detail of how would end consumer even would like that cup of coffee to be served. So we took one step further and added to the entire experience that's created around a visual experience, which I had never seen in the city, which I missed, because brewing these coffees at home, I understood what a great visual experience it was to watch a cup of coffee brew. Because every time all the people at home, the family gathered at that corner where the coffee was being brewed. One is the aroma and the entire experience to see the coffee brew. And I thought it is very important a consumer would also enjoy this. He would enjoy watching his cup of coffee brew, and that is what led me to create this visual experience for a consumer. So you walk into our brew bar, you can completely experience coffee not only by drinking it, but completely watching how a barista makes that cup of coffee. A visual experience is something that we added to it. This was in short my journey in terms of creating the manual brew bar experience. I also would like to add that there are immense opportunities in the coffee industry, and we have also partnered with a college to bring coffee as an education, as a formal education, where graduates like you all who are interested in getting into the coffee space can get a formal education, can get trained, can be more aware, can develop skill sets which would give you various job opportunities, whether it is facing an end consumer, whether it is brewing a cup of coffee, or whether it is working at the farms, whether it's understanding the coffee science. There is immense opportunities in the coffee industry. This is specific to, again, coffee, where my skill set lies. So I think we are all living in the best of times. As an industry at large, there is immense innovation happening, and we need creators, innovators, or people who are good at your skill set is, you're good at communications. relationship managers, because maintaining relationship with consumers has become, we have understood the importance of this over a period of time, whether it is at the restaurant space or even if it is a product that gets delivered to a consumer, right? How you communicate to them, and food products that gets delivered at the convenience of a consumer home, how it's getting delivered, innovation in packaging to storage to the digital marketing, digital communication. So all these are the areas where you can look at job opportunities on the whole. Vandana, did I answer your question
Yes,
on my
yes, yes,
journey?
ma'am. Yes,
So
very
inside,
beautifully explained, ma'am. Yes.
yeah, it's a very vast topic what we are trying to discuss today. It's extremely vast, and the chain of the hospitality industry is very, very, very vast. And hence, I said I would also like to take some specific questions from the curious students if they have something specific on mind, which would give them some clarity.
Absolutely, ma'am. Actually, most of the times we get this question from the students. Like we have this formal education for tourism and hospitality and aviation also, to be specific. Now, do you really advise the students to have a formal education in these industries, or at any other graduation will also have the equal opportunities here?
Um, from your See, formal education is important up to a certain level, but sometimes, Vandana, it can also see to study something in detail. For example, if somebody wants to become a chef, baking, right? If somebody wants to pursue that master in a specific skill set further, I'm saying we are living in a world where it does not restrict only to formal education anymore. Even if you have restrictive, in case you're not to travel, you cannot travel, or it could be financial constraints or anything that is stopping you. I'm saying that does not stop one to develop the skill set. Thanks to the social media and platforms, there is education that can be bought at home, that can be learned at home. You can experiment everything at the comforts of your home, right? It does not stop you. So I will not say that a formal education to master in a particular skill set is compulsory. Honestly, I do not have a formal education in coffee. While there are many certifications that are available, the manual brew bar, what I have created, the manual brew bar, is not out of any formal education, right? It was me brewing a cup of coffee as an end consumer while I went to many cafes. The lifestyle around coffee is what intrigued me, and it really excited me. All the romance around coffee, the lifestyle aspect of coffee, apart from the farming, which Somana is completely involved in. This caught my attention, and I did not pursue any formal education. It was with my own experiments and experimenting it at a space, at a co-working space, all these coffees, from how it's being served. I have created this without a formal education. So hence, I would like to believe that one need not be restricted. And I completely believe in that.
Absolutely.
It's important for the students also to believe in intuitions, right? Your own intuition. I strongly recommend all of you all to at some parts of your day to be in silence. And when I say be in silence, is to understand your own self. It's very important for you to figure out where your skill set lies, right? Though Humble Bean began at the farm side of the journey, when I started getting involved, it was the lifestyle side of coffee that caught my attention, because I knew that is where I could bring in some innovation, right? And hence I took that and I walked in that path. So it's important and I'm sure everybody will be aware of what their skill sets are. It's just for one to explore that and understand that.
Certainly, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Participants, if any other questions, if you want to ask, you can also unmute yourself and ask the question.
Ma'am, can I have a question? Ma'am, what are those personals in hospitality industry? Like as we have in airline industry, we have pilots, airline customer service executive, and all, cabin crew, etc. So
Okay, you mean to say the job titles in the
yes, the
hospitality
job title,
industry?
right?
Let me name what comes to my mind first is a customer relation manager, a store manager. For example, at the brew bar, we like a person who's representing the brand itself, right? For even for an hotel space, you cannot expect the founders or the owners to be at that space. So you need somebody to understand the brand identity and represent that well for a end consumer. And it could be chefs, it could be people being innovative at the designing packaging, people who design packaging, marketing skill sets, digital marketing space, content creation, people who are good at writing or putting across a certain communication to an end consumer, content writers. These are to name a few. Do you want me to name a few more?
Yes, ma'am.
And farm level. Farming is something I'd like to keep mentioning again. It's already been very encouraging for the kind of people who are getting into farming. Farming is again directly related to the hospitality industry, to study how we grow, including more sustainable practices of growing, incorporating better techniques to grow, and how you get the produce from a farmer. It could also be a trading, a person who could who could access these farms and get the end produce to various hotels across the city. So farming is also something that cannot be ignored by the students who want to get into the hospitality industries. You can begin your journey at the farm level and move up ahead to the restaurant space.
Right. Thank you, ma'am.
Participants, any further questions you can even ask in the chat box or unmute yourself. I guess we have no further questions, ma'am. I think it was pretty much informative and useful session for all
I
of
hope
them.
so. Even if Dr. Anupama or Vandana, if you all want me to um, put out some specific information, you can please ask me on behalf of the students, or anything else that I have missed out from my end.
Sure, ma'am. Yes. Yes, there is one thing which most students will always be like they would be interested to know, like, do they need any experience to join this industry? Or as a
Uh,
fresher, are there revenues for the
in
candidates?
the hospitality industry, or
Yes.
you okay? Of course, we are looking at fresh energies, fresh perspectives. They can start beginning to work as interns. For example, for somebody who is a graduate and who has no clue about the coffee industry, we are more than willing to take on board and train and help them develop skill sets with regards to coffee, so they can begin as interns. And it is like pursuing an MBA, a further master, right, where you work on a small stipend and get an understanding from the root level. Internships is something that is available for all the students in whether it's a restaurant space or at the cafes or any side, even at the farm level.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much. We
And this
have
is,
one question, ma'am, for you in the
yes,
chat box.
uh,
So,
um,
brewing coffee is a wonderful idea. Brewing
mhm.
different types of coffee, but does brewing beat latte, espresso, cappuccino? Because people often choose to go to Starbucks and Coffee Day. So, how
Mhm.
does Humble Bean come over to compete against existing coffee ideas and shops?
Okay. Um, Okay, Vandana. Firstly, okay, let me go back to you all saying that how a consumer is willing to experiment, and he consumer is extremely enthusiastic as on today. It allows you to bring out different unique methods. It is not necessary that a humble bean needs to compete with a Starbucks or any other cafe, because there is enough space and consumption of different kind of a customers. If a customer wants a quick cup of a cappuccino or a latte, he walks into a Starbucks. If a customer wants a whole experience of coffee, of a manual brew, to experience coffee in its entirety without milk, to understand this beverage as is, the coffee bean as is, without adding any additives to it, to understand a coffee, a person would come into a humble bean brew bar. I would also say people who are very conscious about farm practices, who want to encourage small and medium farmers. So again, at Humble Bean, we chose not to work with specialty growing coffees kind of farmers. We wanted to work with farmers, small and medium farmers, who do not have much awareness but yet are growing great produce. So, and the discerning customer is today very well informed and are making their choices. So a Starbucks also has his set of consumers, and Humble Bean is also having his set of consumers.
Thank you,
Did I
ma'am.
answer that
Yes.
question, Vandana?
Yes, ma'am. There's one more question. One quick question. How was the coffee industry changed during the pandemic?
It did see a huge change. Change in the sense we saw businesses and companies making a immediate shift to coffees being delivered to the comfort of their homes. It also pushed many of the people in the industry from moving away from serving the coffees at the table, to dip coffees, to sachets, to making it as easy as possible. When I say sachets, I'm not talking about instant coffees, which has existed from a very long time. I'm talking about these fresh coffees, freshly brewed coffees being delivered to you in form of sachets, coffees being, cold brews being brewed and bottled and being delivered to their homes where they can store it. So the industry also had to work on digital marketing space. We saw a lot of companies innovating and being able to grasp a customer's attention on social media. This is another huge platform where you can look at business opportunities, because the way you communicate, and in today's world where unfortunately most of us spend more time on technology, right? It could be in various ways, where laptops, TV, phones, I don't know if it's for the good or bad, it's for another day and another topic to discuss, but we spend a huge amount of time on our phones, right? And with this, what happens is the attention span of a customer is so limited and so less. So the kind of communication a company puts out, the advertisements, each time a company needs to keep innovating and look at different ways to communicate to a consumer. So everybody had to pull up their socks and work on the digital platforms. Even for us, we did it in a very small manner. Honestly, we are not me and my husband are not huge fans of social media. We are not very active people, but we understood the need. There are also the good side of it, and it's an easy way of communication. So it becomes important for us to put all our communications on the digital platform. So we saw a huge change in packaging, ease of deliveries. Again, delivery is another huge chain where it has immense job opportunities, right? How food is getting delivered. Every day we are seeing new ways, new innovative ways of food and beverages getting delivered to your homes. So yes, we had to adapt to these changes.
Yes, one more last question, ma'am. Which part of India holds best coffee production and best quality producers?
Okay, this is again a very tricky question, and let me put it across this way. Best farm practices in India, we are seeing a great, very positive change. I will not name any region in specific. I will speak about the farms that we work with, and we are not region agnostic. We work with various regions in India, from Palani, Chikmagalur, Coorg. So every space there are farmers who are getting more aware, who want to innovate, make the changes at the farm practices. And there is a growing best coffees. All the regions are doing their best and practices. And the best cup of coffee, see, Coorg region coffees have specific characteristics to it. A Chikmagalur coffee has a specific characteristics to it. Palani has a different characteristics to it. So you cannot call which is best. A best cup of coffee is the one that you like. We strongly believe that this thought, this belief is what led us to bring out our proposition today, right? Because I don't think one should like what he's expected to like. It is very subjective. Coffee is extremely subjective. A best cup of coffee is just what one likes. So it's very difficult for me to say which region grows the best coffee. It is about what one would like.
Thank you, ma'am. Any other questions? I guess somebody had raised a hand.
Yes, I saw that. I missed reading. I thought they typed something also. I think I missed that.
Okay, yes, there is a question, ma'am. How did you overcome your ups and downs, and what's the secret of your success?
Success, I don't know. Success is it's defined differently to different people, right? Success means different to different people. So I don't know what you mean by success. If success means me addressing you all, then maybe yes, I have been successful. But yes, it can mean different things to different people. Yes, challenges. It has not been an easy journey, of course. I don't think any journey can be easy. It's never a bed of roses. But what has helped me or helped us in this journey of building Humble Bean thus far is whatever your circumstances are, or whatever your opportunities are, even with your limitations, it is always important for you to focus on what is that best that I can bring about in any situation, whether it's an extremely easy situation or it's a challenging or a difficult situation. All one needs to always concentrate is how can I evolve? How can I rise above this situation? How can I bring my best to this situation? It's never about to strive for perfection. World is not meant to be perfect, right? It is even the energy or God, whoever created the world, it was never meant to be perfect. So one cannot strive for perfection. It is all about how you can evolve and how you can get yourself better at it at every step. Even if a situation is bad or good, it doesn't stop you from bringing your best at that time. So that is something has helped us move forward at every step and every challenge.
Yes, so we will, I think, take a last question from Mr. Deepak.
Yes.
He had raised a hand.
Yes.
Yes, Deepak, you can ask your question.
Hello, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon,
Uh,
Deepak.
Ma'am, especially I like your idea. Like brewing coffee is a wonderful idea. So I just wanted to ask you, will brewing coffee boom as in the filter coffee is booming currently at this situation? So can we see brewing coffee normally in all the shops, like where all the filter coffee is? Like example, in most of the places, we can see like each area has a specific a shop
Correct.
where they can filter coffee. So can we see in a few years where there will be brewing coffee in place of filter coffees?
Okay. Okay, Deepak, thanks for your enthusiasm towards coffee. I love questions around coffee. So, see, I cannot, coffee consumption, yes, we are seeing an upward curve in the coffee consumption across India, Delhi being the highest consumer, and Bangalore is totally catching up with the coffee, new age coffee consumption. But I do not know if a person who is serving a cup of filter coffee will shift to brewing these manual brewed coffees. That is that I'm not sure, but you will definitely see more and more spaces offering these new age brewings. Which part of the town do you live in, Deepak?
Bangalore, ma'am.
No, sorry, which part of the town in Bangalore? Sorry.
I live in Kormangla.
Okay, so in Kormangla, there are so many these new age coffee brewing cafes which did not exist earlier. We are
Right.
already seeing this change. South Bangalore, which has been the always filter coffee consuming area, right? People love filter coffees. We are seeing a huge consumption. We do serve manually brewed coffees in Jayanagar as well, and there are many other cafes which has cropped up who are serving these newly brewed coffees. And the curve is going to continue to go up. The consumption is going to increase by the day. And since we are also at the we roast coffees. We also provide white labeling solutions. When I say white labeling solutions, we also provide coffees to other brands, other coffee brands, whether it's a cafe or it's packaged coffees. We do serve coffees, and we are seeing a huge increase in the consumption over the last 5 years for us being in the industry. And it continues, the curve continues to go up. And even at the consumer level, coffee is seeing the new change, like how wine did in India a few years back. Coffee is being perceived that way. Today, everybody wants to know, the end consumer wants to know more about the coffee, its versatility. They want to understand its flavors. So this is going to continue to go, and coffee is here to stay.
Right. Thank you, ma'am.
Did I answer your question, Deepak?
Yes, right, ma'am. Now, I also wanted to know, does Humble Bean even provide like byproducts? Do you sell coffee powders to different sectors?
Yes, of course. We, even as an end consumer, we do cater to end consumers. We have our retail products. It's available on our website. If you want to know more, you can also log into our Instagram. You can log into our website. Our products are available there. We are trying also to encourage people to brew these coffees at home, to make it a part of their lifestyle, not just at the cafe. You don't have to walk into a brew bar to experience a good cup of coffee. You can have it at the comfort of your homes. So we do have fresh roasted coffee that gets delivered to your homes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Right. So hospitality is not a job, but a lifestyle, and passion towards a genuine interest, and these are the crucial components for success in the industry like coffee and hospitality. Thank you, ma'am, for inspiring us and fortifying us towards the industry, especially about the coffee. Last but not the least, I now rely on Ms. Vandana Revankar to conclude the webinar with the closing remarks and wind up with a vote of thanks.
Thanks, Aisha. Thank you, Pooja ma'am. Yes, so the session was very, very informative. I am sure all of us have developed some kind of special interest in coffee, although if it was not there also, it would have now grown out of this seminar, yes. So ma'am talked about global standards in her session. That is how the global standards have increased and what kind of a skill set is this industry looking at, and also the current trends. And very importantly, one should know the strength of what they are good at. Like, this intention of the webinar was to make the students aware about it. Like, if you are a commerce graduate, what is your strength? And you can work as an intern in that specific field, is what ma'am told about. Hospitality industry, as she rightly pointed out, is a vast industry. You just can't start it from one place, and it's like never ending umbrella of opportunities. So you have to look at what is your area of interest, develop that interest, as ma'am did it in her own journey. She developed that interest about the coffee bean, how it is grown from the scratch. So this is what, as students, you all have to look at. What is your strength? Identify it, understand what you want from your life, and then the life will be wonderful journey. Like Pooja ma'am's journey. She has actually lived the coffee life, right? And she also talked about two very important skills, that is communication and relationship management. More so for the people who want to get into this industry, I think communication is the most important skill, and also relationship, not just for the marketing students, those who want to do a marketing job. Of course, they have to be good in relationship marketing, but then relationship is at all levels, at starting from the suppliers of the products for your business to the end consumer. Everybody in between has to have a very good relationship, and I think that is one of the most crucial skill sets that she talked about. And ma'am concluded her session with two important things, that is, look at what is your intuition telling you. Speak to yourself. That is, yesterday's session also the speaker was more focusing on give yourself the time. Understand what you want from your life. So that is very important thing that we have. A very good takeaway I can say, ma'am, from your session is we need to understand our own selves and see where we fit into.
Very
takeaway from this session.
Very important, Vandana. And I think for the students today, with all the noise that they have around them, easy access to noise, let me put it across that way. Noise, when I'm referring to noise, it's social media, phones. This is the noise that I'm referring to. It's extremely important also not to get carried away. There is a fine line to be drawn. And hence, I wanted to lay emphasis on spending time in silence. Listening to your own self is important. You know, you don't know what you could bring out, right? What maybe innovate something, be an entrepreneur, maybe something that did not even exist earlier, right? So do not just lock yourselves to that frame that already is existing in the industry. You can think beyond it. There are many opportunities for it.
Absolutely, ma'am. Thank you for those gems of wisdom from you. Yes. So now we are coming close to the session. To close the session today, I'm very, very grateful to the people who made this day memorable, knowledgeable, and wonderful. Each one of us, each one of the participants, and everybody who made it a fruitful session. Firstly, I would like to thank our resource person, Mrs. Pooja Somarna, for her valuable time, who shared great insights about hospitality industry and especially the coffee industry, and gave us her valuable time in spite of her busy schedule. Thank you very much, ma'am, once again. On the behalf of SSMRV College, we thank you.
Vandana, thank you so much. And I would like to thank the principal and the entire team of SSMRV College and the students to have me here. It was great talking to you all. And I hope I added some value to your choices that you're going to be making in the future.
Definitely, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, I would like to also thank our dear principal, Dr. S. Anil Kumar sir. Sorry, he would not be there with us for the entire session due to an emergency, but he was there with us throughout the session from yesterday, and he's always with us with his constant support, always instrumental in translating the vision into reality. We are truly blessed to have a leader like him. My humble thanks to the IQAC Coordinator, HOD of Department of Commerce, Dr. M.S. Nagraj, for continuously supporting us for organizing this event. On behalf of Department of BBA Aviation Club, I wholeheartedly thank you, sir. And we are also blessed with a great pillar of support, our HOD, Professor Jagdish, Department of Business Administration, for his continuous and enormous support to organize this program. My graceful thanks to all the faculty members of Department of Business Administration and Department of Commerce for their timely support to this program. Very grateful to all the participants who have made it possible from across the country. We have teachers and students of all the streams here present today. Thank you all for your participation. It means a lot. Lastly, thanks to the technical assistance by Gokul sir. Thank you, Gokul sir. Thank you, Ms. Aisha, for beautifully hosting the show. Thank you all once again. Thank you, Pooja ma'am. All of you have a pleasant day ahead. Stay home, stay safe.